This episode on Kawaii-Fi Radio, Aaron breaks Kyle.
You just broke Kyle's brain.
I can't pass that. Aaron also pitches a show on Netflix.
Delicious
What do we got to
fruits.
do with you, Aaron? Seriously.
Give me my own comedy special. Come on.
Netflix, you hear money?
Come on, Netflix. I'm right here.
And the team realise they're old. Again. Yes, we are real anime characters.
Yes.
Wait, you guys can run? I can't.
Well,
We could run.
Oh, back then?
Back then.
Back then, yeah.
good
Now
point.
we're old and need a cane.
Ava launch!
It's over 9,000!
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi. Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi Radio!
Yes, konnichiwa, and welcome to another episode of Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast where we look into the world of anime and manga. I'm Kyle, and joining me are my co-hosts, Lady Farfar and Aaron.
He got it right.
I
for
got it
once.
right.
He got it right.
This is the first time ever.
And
yes.
you didn't call me Kenny.
I didn't. we
Should
are.
we be concerned?
Wait, where is Kenny?
I would say we are sans Kenny today. We are short of a Kenny man, as they say, as I say apparently.
Well, good
Okay.
thing you got the substitute Kenny man.
No.
The sub.
The sub.
Okay.
No, I'm definitely not the sub.
Oh,
That's not what we meant. Moving right along, it's episode 55 of Kawaii-Fi Radio.
like
we're
that.
really,
That's my lucky number.
Is it?
Is it really?
Yeah.
well, we're really cracking through this.
Aaron and Kenny are 5 letters each.
Ah.
Yeah, my middle name's also 5 letters, so
Ooh.
I'm Mr. Fives.
Fives all round. 555.
yeah.
oh.
Can we get?
Well,
Can we give you another name so then you can be the interstellar star system of the 555?
Yeah. Well, my previous last name before this one was also 5.
not
It's
to
like-
dox you or anything like that, but yeah.
To dox me? What?
All his fans will be like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, Aaron fans, hello.
Hello.
So we are back, of course. This episode, we are unfortunately short of our international guest we were hoping to get. She is on holiday, but we will be getting her in, I think, end of April or early May.
Okay.
So we'll come to that and we'll let you know once it's all locked in. But we are heading to Japan Fest this weekend, which
We are.
is a festival here in Perth. Now, by the time this episode goes out, the festival will have been gone.
And we'll have finished it and we'll all be at home enjoying
And
ourselves.
many viewers will be cracked by that stage as well.
Yeah. So by the time that I've completely gone off on a tangent.
Yeah.
We'll be going to Japan Fest. We'll be there in our bright red shirts. So if you did see us, if you're one of the people who has taken a card off us during Japan Fest, thank you for tuning in. It's
Hello.
great to have you. And hello to
Hi.
all of our regular listeners as well.
Yes.
Now, this episode, we're asking a question, and it's an important one. What anime could you turn into a weekly series? What has enough depth and story that could have been a series like Naruto or One Piece? Not necessarily saying that the manga's enough to do so, but I'm trying to think of something without giving away the ones we're going to talk about. But imagine if K-On! Was a weekly series.
Or, there's actually quite a few good shows that you could do.
Well, I mean, K-On! Would be interesting because
K-On! would be
they'd be
amazing.
growing up. You
Yeah.
could see them
Yeah.
throughout their whole career.
Oh.
And that you could probably stretch to a few hundred episodes.
Oh, easily.
Why don't I pick K-On? That would have been a perfect one to talk
It
about.
would've
It's
been.
too late.
It's too
Too
late.
late now.
Well, K-On! Can go on the back foot for that. But you get the idea. We're looking for shows that before we're only 12 or 24 episodes or maybe a couple of seasons. And then imagine if that was a weekly show coming out every week like Naruto does, like One Piece does, like Black Clover does, like Fairy Tail did for a long time.
So this is how I thought about it. It's like, you know how we used to have morning TV, the animes in the morning? This is what I wanted to see. Like, what would I go and spend time in the mornings watching
And
every
run
day
late
and
to
run
school
late
for.
And then have your toast in your mouth as you run to school.
Yes, we are real anime characters.
Yes.
Wait, you guys can run? I can't.
Well,
We could run.
Oh, back then?
Back then.
Back then, yeah.
good
Now
point.
we're old and need a cane. But look, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. We are across all social medias. Jump on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Thing that we do with the chat channels.
Discord.
Discord will be happening this week. So there will be links in this episode's description for our Discord.
It's
We
very
are going to
exciting.
get it done.
I want to apologize to all of you. Kyle's brain is in a state of discord right
It's
now.
true.
It is pretty much. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Hey.
It's the first one for the show. Get
It
ready,
is.
everyone.
All right. Let's get stuck into the most important thing that we need to talk about.
I have no idea how old I am or where I came from.
Nani? Ohayo.
Hang time! I gotta go!
I have to know. Hooray! I did the thing.
Oni-chan, nani wo miru?
What we're watching.
Well, we've all been watching a fair bit of anime, and
Haven't we?
This week we're going to be talking about 3 things that we haven't talked about before,
Oh?
which is kind of surprising. So I'm going to start this time because I've been watching bottom tier character Tomozaki.
Oh.
And we mentioned this in the season preview. It looks from the outside like a very, I guess you could say, a rom-com-y sort of thing. I was a bit concerned that it was going to be, a bit of a grudge match sort of show. It's not. It's a high school series with a character who believes he himself is, in the game of life, a bottom-tier character, but in basically their knockoff version of Super Smash Bros, he is the best character. So in that, he's literally the number 1 ranked player in Japan. And that's the only thing he's got going for him. And the series opens with him beating the popular guy in school in Super Smash, basically.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, him beating the popular guy at school with skills he learned from Smash Bros.
Yeah. I'm just going to stand here and press up, up, down, down, left, right, A, B, start. Oh,
wait, no, that's
didn't do
the
anything.
Konami code.
I know it's the Konami code.
That's Smash Bros. Get the Konami code. Come on. You got Pac-Man.
I know. But it's basically him going from being that quiet, meek, loser type character, which is, generically done in a lot of animes and manga series, and meeting someone who is also a gamer, but she actually is able to win at the game of life, as they've put it. And it's about her teaching him the skills to, I guess you could say, go out into the world and behave as a normal person and actually have a good life as well as a good game life, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
There's a lot of metaphors for video games in it.
It's sort of like how you've got like street smarts and book smarts, but then adding in the third one of game smarts.
Yeah, I guess in a way, yeah. Like, he's socially awkward. He can't talk to other people. He struggles a lot with that. He feels alone, and basically, in his own words, he's a bit of a loser. And I can appreciate, the story set up. He's the type of character who, in another series, you would expect to become a hikikomori or something similar like that. He's heading down that path where he's going to have a lonely life, where it's purely focused on video games. He doesn't have that social interaction, that lifestyle, and therefore he completely retracts within himself. And this girl helps him realize that, the game of life, as they call it, yeah, sure, there is no standard rules or guidelines for it, but there are a load of tips you can use to make it work. And it's approaching it from that angle. It's really good. It's high school drama. It's funny. There are some really good screenshots from it, such as one girl pointing and another one going, "I will not put up with your constant harassment."
Yes, I believe you said that to
me. So there's a lot of memorable moments in it, and it's really quite funny and well written. And it's really quite interesting that they're approaching it from the angle they have.
So when you say the game of life, you don't mean like the board game, the game of life?
No. So they're referring to actually living as a human being as the game of life.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So they don't have little cars going from
No, they don't.
Oh.
I still have never played the game of life. My only exposure to it is seeing it in...
The Simpsons for me.
No, not in The Simpsons. Bakemonogatari.
Oh, okay.
And that was through an AMV as well.
I'm pretty sure they had it on PS1 or PS2 at some stage.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
Because it
It was like fully animated.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, look, that's currently airing at the moment. It's on Anime Lab, Funimation, pretty much the entire Funimation suite. So if you're in Europe, whacking him, it'll be on there. Definitely worth checking out if you like that sort of slice of life comedy high school story. But at least, it's not slice of life as in, cute things one episode, cute things the next. There's a progression going on to it.
Like a decent story
and
to
I think it's probably been overshadowed because Horimiya is happening this season. If Horimiya wasn't on this season, this probably would have got a lot more attention.
Probably.
But Lady Fafa, what are you watching?
Well, actually, it's a good segue from what you were watching. So I've been watching Love. Now, okay, I'm a bad weeb, so to speak.
Love, Chunibyo,
Chunibyo,
and Other Delusions.
This is a weird thing. I can never say that word. I don't know what it is about that one word. I just cannot say it. But yet Carl can say it perfectly. And I'm like, I'm watching the show. I'm hearing them say it. but I can't say it.
I've had to recommend
annoying.
it to so many people that I had to learn to say it.
Isn't that where that Russian meltdown happened?
I know.
No, that is not.
So apologies to people that are listening. Sometimes I can't say certain words, even though I'm learning Japanese. It's just ridiculously hard. No, this isn't really, because you know how you were watching that show about, different, like that delusion kind of thing. This is pretty much basically it. So,
yeah.
How do I explain the show? It's just...
Well, I think we need to start with what Chunibyo is for those that don't know. And it's translates as what, like 6th grade syndrome or 8th grade syndrome?
It's basically living in a fantasy type of lifestyle. Like, you know how Yu-Gi-Oh! And things like the magical, like, I will fight you this way and blah, blah, blah.
It's a colloquial Japanese term typically used to describe early teens who have delusions of grandeur, who so desperately want to stand out that they've convinced themselves they have, hidden knowledge or secret powers. It's been popularized by light novels and anime. And they believe they possess supernatural powers.
There's a name for that?
Yeah. It's
That's
Chunibyo.
what I mean. But I was like, we did this when we were younger. Like, didn't we pretend that we were Power Rangers or, Yeah, so it's pretty much exactly that. Except these guys get older.
And they don't let go of it.
And they don't let go of it, except for one who's kind of grown out of it, and he wants to get out of this, like, I was never involved with it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
who are these guys?
For his bad luck, he meets someone that is still involved with it. And
so you've got Tagashi, who he used to call himself the Dark Flame Master. And it's just so cringy. And then he's like, during junior high, I suffered from this and I'm not letting it be. So he throws away all of his, dark, moody clothes and his prop swords and all that. And then goes to a new high school where no one knows him. And then he bumps into a girl called Rika, who's full-blown Chunibyo, has an eye patch over her eye and says, it cannot be taken off. Otherwise, a, demonic thing will happen to the world and all that. And turns out she knows his past.
Oh, no.
Because she literally lives on the balcony above him.
Yeah. Oh, no. It's so good. And you know what? I'm nearly at the end of the season that I'm watching at the moment. And it's such a beautiful show. Like, the progression of, like, the characters and, the side characters as well. It's just so... And it's KyoAni as well.
Yeah, it's KyoAni as well.
So I was like, this is great, KyoAni. And the only reason I picked up the show, because the Anime Lab has the movie just released on Anime Lab. I was like, okay, I can watch this. Wait, what is this show actually about? And then I was like, let me watch the series. And I'm glad I started it because it's actually a really nice, chill anime before bed to watch kind of thing. And it's just really comfy, but it's got a good story. And I love anime with a bit of romance in it. And this one has a beautiful slow burner romance.
This has got a long, I guess there's 24 episodes plus OVAs. There's a lot of OVAs. And then a film as well. And there's a slow burn about the romance between the two characters throughout all of it.
It's properly done. Like, you know how animes rush it kind of with the romance side? This one actually does it so well. Yeah. That you actually
you gradually see them getting closer and closer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Horimiya did a good job of it, but it was still quite fast comparative to other animes. Whereas this one, it takes like that entire 12 episodes for you to kind of really understand where they are and what they mean to each other before then expanding further on it. Yeah. And it's really sweet. It's been one of the series that, to me, has always been really close to me. Similar to Tamako Market.
Oh, yeah.
And that Tamako love story film as well. And it's just like, but also by KyoAni as well, literally done after this. They were just like, how can we make you cry and weep more through romance? And that's what they did.
But this is what I've been watching every night lately. I mean, it's making me fall asleep, which is good. I like anime that makes me fall asleep because I feel good when, and I can go back and watch it.
You mean as in soothing?
Soothing.
Okay.
In a weird way, it's soothing to me. I don't know what it is. I just like soothing anime. So,
Oh, yeah. There's nice, like, just chill pace, just like...
But it has
pick
a
it
story.
Up and put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Aaron, what you're about to talk about is not chill.
The complete opposite.
It's the complete opposite of it, isn't it? Enlighten us.
Okay, so as our listeners may be aware, I watch a lot of anime during my time when I'm not on the show, like a lot. And that's because I've got the free time to do so. I have smashed out all of Pacific Rim The Black.
Unreal.
The first night it came out, the entire show.
What, the first night?
The first night.
You were on night shift that night and you're just sitting there going, I got nothing else to do.
Exactly. I was like, I finished all of my weekly anime. I may as well just go for this. And let me tell you, it is so worth the binge.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, so how many episodes? 8?
Yeah, it's only 8. It's a very short series.
Did we talk about last episodes, something with an 8. Oh, Cells at Work only had 8 episodes.
Yeah, this season of Cells at Work only has 8 episodes as
maybe
well.
8's the magic number now.
Well, I think in Cells at Work's case, they didn't have enough content to accurately do more than 8. And the case of Pacific Rim the Black, it's an original story, and it's a Netflix original, so it can literally be however long they want. It could be 4 episodes, 5, 2, whatever they fancy.
Well, they rounded it out with the story and 8 episodes really nicely, because where it ends, it could just stop there entirely, or it can go so far.
It's all right. Season 2's already been confirmed.
Oh, thank
goodness.
That's another night's worth of viewing for me.
Yeah. I mean, 8 episodes, half-hour episodes, 25 minutes?
Yeah, about that. The story, it's a bit slow, like the first couple of episodes, and then like it introduces you to the world, what's going on, what's happening, and just the more you get into it, the better it gets, because...
I mean, obviously, this is more inclined towards people who like big kaiju and robot fights.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed the Pacific Rim films in any aspect of the entertainment experience...
Or even if you just enjoyed the first one, because let's not talk about the second one too much.
I loved the second one.
Really?
I just bought it on
That's a very
Blu-ray.
controversial opinion.
Look, it's a dumpster fire.
There we go.
As some
It's a
movies are.
dumpster fire, but I enjoyed it. Like, look, I'm not... with Pacific Rim, I was not there for the story. All you have to do is set up the 2 teams, and then all I want to see is how that plays out.
Yeah.
You mean like the upcoming movie, Godzilla vs. Kong?
And which I think I mentioned to you earlier today on chat. This is actually a very important film for all of us, because when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, whoever ends up being the victor between the 2 of them, I mean, if Godzilla wins, that means lizard people are given the A-OK to come and take over the planet, like from the hollow Earth.
And then if Kong wins, we've got Planet of the Apes. So whoever wins, we lose.
Yeah, pretty much.
What is this conversation, honestly?
Well, this is what happens when you start talking about kaiju.
Kaiju's... We got that Kaiju Blue.
And on that note, next season, I mean, we won't get it here till later in the year, but there's the Godzilla single point anime coming out starting in April as well. We won't get that till... July, August, maybe? Earliest. And that's on Netflix as well. And that actually looks really good. Not too sure on the CG yet. Hopefully they finish that out. Otherwise, it's a bit...
We were talking about the CG before in like a couple of episodes back with Pacific Rim. How was the CG in this one?
It's Ruby-esque, which you'd expect. But the kaiju are...
Just a quick side note, if you don't know what Ruby-esque is, we're talking about Ruby, RWBY. It's an animated series from a few years ago done by Red vs. Blue team.
They've
Teeth.
sort of...
Rooster Teeth,
Like, that style's gotten really popular with a lot of shows recently. So you'll see a lot like it.
Okay.
It's sort of that CG where it's...
almost cartoonish?
Almost cartoonish,
Like 2.75?
Yeah, there you
go. But yeah, like, the kaijus are done really well. There's a few, like... persisting kaiju, because obviously
you've got to have a big antagonist sort of
you got to have those stakes.
How's the robot?
The robot's really interesting.
Good Jaeger?
Well, the thing is, it's a training Jaeger, so there's no weapons on it.
Oh
yeah, that makes it interesting, doesn't it?
It does.
Because how do you fight a kaiju with no weapons?
You just keep punching it really hard.
Yeah, but is that really going to do it?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Especially if you've got like a class 3 or a class 4 coming at you.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work.
No.
But look, Pacific Rim on Netflix, Pacific Rim the Black, on Netflix.
Yep.
So a whole 8 episodes dropped all at once. So definitely go check it out if that is your cup of tea. Now, let's talk about anime that could be a weekly series.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
And now for our feature presentation.
Now featuring.
Alrighty, so let's talk about turning an anime into a weekly series. Shonen style, Naruto style.
Naruto.
What if we turned it into a strongly style series?
You just broke past brain.
I can't pass that. Please run that by me again.
Okay, instead of a weekly series, we have a strongly
weekly
series.
strong. Right, I'm sitting there going shonen street.
There we go, guys.
Okay.
Welcome back, Aaron.
Can't be brokey. So let's talk about a series that exists that in a parallel world was decided that, hey, why don't we just make this an ongoing series?
Just forever.
Just forever, until we kind of ran out of ideas or decided the sun would take over.
Let's give it the Neighbours treatment.
The Neighbours
The
treatment.
soap opera treatment.
The soap opera treatment.
Oh,
Okay. So,
yes.
but actually, no. Soap opera would be literally every day. Can you imagine? You could burn through like 250 episodes in a year.
You'd
And I
never be able
complain
to.
why?
You'd never be able to jump in like after the first year.
Yeah,
you'd be screwed.
You'd be
Oh,
stuffed.
true.
Now, we're talking about like a series that could, in this parallel world, would be treated like Naruto was, like One Piece was, like Bleach was, where every week they had a new episode come out, and that means it'll come with all the problems with that, such as filler.
I think with this, what you mean is what One Piece currently is.
Yeah.
Because like we're like 20, 30 years strong now.
900 and something episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Aaron, I would like you to enlighten us on the series you would like to put forward.
Okay, so let me just pull out my notepad. Yeah. So I gave it a good hard think, and I ran it past a couple of people, and I went to Quality Comics the other day, and he said the Brady Bunch.
Wasn't that already a weekly?
It was.
Basically, and I was like, you know what? Points to you for humor.
Yeah. Good effort.
Yeah.
Not appreciated, but good effort.
It's not what we're looking for.
Wait. Could you imagine if the Brady Bunch was an anime?
Oh. Isn't that just basically quintessential quintuplets?
Yeah.
Like,
There you go.
yeah, you're basically halfway there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So my choice was Tiger and Bunny.
2011 Japanese anime TV series by Sunrise.
Oh, you got all the details.
I got
there.
all the details right in front of me.
Great show. I really got into it. It was one of the ones where I sort of had my second dip in anime, and I was kind of, I was like, oh, I don't really know what to watch, and it sort of came out around then, and I was like, oh, this is really good. It's got superheroes because basically the world it's like a My Hero Academia thing. Humans have evolved to the next stage, and their version of quirks is called Nex. N-E-X.
NEX, as in next evolution.
Yes.
So instead of putting the T on it, we're going to make it sound like you're grabbing someone's necks.
Yes. Pepsi also had a brand deal in it where it was called Pepsi Nex.
Ah.
Yeah.
But there was Pepsi Next as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was maybe they just rebranded it outside of Japan to Next.
Yep.
That might be right.
So one of the main things in Tiger and Bunny, the reason why I brought that up is because a lot of the heroes on their hero outfits or like armors or whatever have branding on them.
Yeah, there's like proper sponsorship deals done.
Yeah. One of the characters actually has Pepsi Nex.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So in this world, heroes go out and it's all televised when they go out and catch these villains. And it's all scored on a point-based system, and heroes are representing certain brands. And the hero who does the best points-wise becomes the top hero for the year. So they're all competing to try and be the top hero.
Yeah, makes sense.
And it's focused around Tiger and Bunny, the two main heroes, who are paired up as the first duo hero in the show.
Now, just to clarify, when you say they're a duo hero, do they share the moniker? Or like, as in like there's, for argument's sake, the equivalent of an Iron Man suit that they both pilot, or they both have their own equipment?
They both have their own equipment,
Okay.
but their points are tallied together as opposed to every other hero whose are individually done. So they also have like a dumb little bike with the little seat on the side.
Oh,
they got matching
little
outfits.
sidecars and match. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. So this series looks like this is one I always did want to go and watch. But why do you think it would work as a long form, several hundred episode series every week?
Okay, so the way they left it off was they took out the quote unquote main bad guy, but he was a part of a gang called Ouroboros.
Oh, yeah.
So the snake eating itself.
Yeah.
So whenever one part gets taken, a new one fills its place.
Oh.
So they could easily spend thousands of episodes trying to like break down this entire organization. And because they were controlling the media, which controls the heroes, there's like this whole backstage thing you're not seeing.
So this could kind of be like one of those shows where they approach it and they go, oh, that was just the first arc. And just like we had with Naruto, where they go, they have that couple of arcs and they jump on and go to the next one. And then maybe a time skip for some events have happened before they start the next one.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, especially when you're working with something like that, you've got a massive landscape you can work with. Like, what happens on the international stage?
Exactly.
Like, because my understanding, this is kind of focused around just a single city.
Yeah, Sternbuild City.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm surprised I remember the name for it.
I'm impressed as well. I'm sitting here going, I haven't got this here. Stern-built city, reimagined version of New York.
Yes.
Ooh, I like.
It's very, very interesting. And it also shows there's a character who's the sort of, he realizes what's going on, so he has his own brand of justice that he's trying to do. And so the heroes are constantly like, why are you getting in our way? And he's like, I'm not getting in your way, and I don't want to hurt you, but I need to get this done.
He's like a rogue hero almost.
Yeah.
He's not doing it for the glory or the paycheck.
No. And so it's all it's a well-built world, and if you're looking for a hero anime to sort of fill you in before My Hero Academia comes out again, absolutely check it out, because it's got cool suits, cool designs, great characters, and it's just really well balanced, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also a second season is in the works. It's scheduled for release in 2022.
Oh, hello.
So it's the official date. Yeah. So considering that was like 2011, that's 11 years.
Yeah, that's a decent wait. Maybe it'll be about his daughter.
Well, I mean, they've got, by the looks of it, quite a few games. They've got the film.
Okay,
2 films.
The 2 films. So the first one is actually like the easiest way to get into it because it covers the first part of the story.
So they're recap films?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
the second one's actually like it goes off in its own direction by introducing a new hero called Golden Ryan.
Ryan is in R-Y-A-N?
Yes, but also as in the Golden Lion. His whole moniker's about being a lion.
Tiger, bunny, and lion.
Well, the thing is, he replaces Tiger.
Of course.
So that's what the whole drama in the movie is about, like Tiger finding himself outside of being a hero.
That's very cool. I mean, I like the character designs as well, because
the
they're very
design.
unique. And it's Sunrise, so you'd expect them to be very good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you're going to watch it, Netflix doesn't have any of the branding, so you're missing out on a lot.
It's
a
really
censorship.
weird. So they've censored the branding because I'm assuming Netflix told, SoftBank and Pepsi, we want money for this.
Yeah, probably.
And they went, no.
And so they had to spend all that extra money censoring it.
Yep. Good luck, guys. Alrighty. Well, Tiger and Bunny 2 scheduled for 2022. It's going to be done by Bandai Namco as well, which
That
is
makes
going to
sense.
be
Yeah.
It's kind of about right. It's a shame it's not being done again by Sunrise, but
Aren't they the same
Buddy's
company,
Armor has Bandai and Namco on it.
Ah.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
makes sense.
I know that they're related, but they're not directly considered the same company.
Oh.
So yeah, okay. I would like to submit Lupin the Third.
Okay.
It isn't already?
It isn't.
Oh.
So Lupin the Third, for those that do know of the series, and we've talked about it several times in the podcast,
We're looping
got
back.
hundreds of episodes.
I'll see myself out. You guys don't want me for the rest of the show.
You should see yourself out. That was terrible. So Lupin the Third, for those that don't know it, is The Gentleman Thief. It's based off Arsène Lupin, who was the great original French thief. Books were written about him by a French author in, I think it was like the 1800s. And this is meant to be like, his grandson, who is also a thief and running around and doing his thing. Now, Lupin previously, if you have seen the recent 2 seasons, so part 4 and part 5, which is season 4 and 5, they had about 25, 26 episodes for them. Now, before that, Lupin the Third part 2 or 3, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was part 3, has something like 100 and something episodes. Part 2, 155 episodes.
Damn.
So they trialed this, and it did run, by the looks of it, weekly from October the 3rd, 1977, every week until October the 6th, 1960.
That's a good run.
Not bad. So 3 years, 155 episodes. I didn't realize it was a weekly schedule until this week. I thought it was just like one of those odd ones where they went, yeah, we've just pumped out a ton of these. It's great.
Yeah,
Now, I would love to see the recent, they had Lupin the Third part 4 and part 5, which were 25 and 26 episodes. I would love to see that format, that visual format, as an ongoing series.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got basically millions of heist opportunities. Let's be honest. Lupin is essentially about heists. It is about going, wow, this is a famous, incredible relic. let's steal it.
How are they going to get out of this one?
Yeah, exactly.
Look
And
at how
every
tight
week,
the security
like,
is.
you have a look at like season 4 where it has that massive arc to do with Leonardo da Vinci because it's set in Italy. You can do the same thing in literally every other country, which, you know, I think's pretty cool personally. And as that story progresses, it gives you the opportunity to do a story arc style like they did with Naruto. So, you know, okay, well, we've completed, you know, I've completed this heist, which is wherever, and now we're going to go, this is the next major heist we're working on. And you can have that, like, 25 episodes,
and
just
go
like
more
they
in
would,
depth into
and go
it,
more depth
like
into their
planning
characters.
And
yeah.
like alternate routes they could do.
I mean, still make it entertaining, of course, and have the same pacing. You don't want to slow it right down.
No.
But I also am quite aware that the amount of people they would need to animate that would be insane.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, they keep coming up with new characters for every new season anyway. So there's always going to be your standards of the core 5 people, and then there's always going to be Zenigata chasing them. But then there could be people they enter into partnerships with, a rival group of 4 people, for instance.
Or even Zenigata could be like pushed off to the side, and a new cop could come in because they think that he's incompetent.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that could be like a whole arc, and then Zenigata considers joining Lupin.
Yeah, oh, could you imagine a story arc where Zenigata joins Lupin?
And then it turns out that he was an undercover agent the whole time, and it was his whole plan.
I wasn't going to go.
If he pulls a Lupin on Lupin.
No, I was thinking even further than that. Imagine Zenigata joins Lupin to undermine the head of police who's taken over for him and uncover the fact that he is corrupt.
Oh.
Can I just say, you guys talking about Lupin actually makes me want to watch Lupin.
It's so good.
So
The way you talk about it, Carl, it's like really passionate. Like it's just.
It's one of those shows that really grabbed us.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing, I think it was 3 different Lupin films when I was about 14. They were at the video store, showing my age there.
Yeah.
In their cases, big chunky VHS ones in the anime section, which was maybe like, a single bookcase worth of space. And I remember seeing them going, they look really interesting. One of them was the original Lupin one, the one that was done by Miyazaki, Castle of Cagliostro, which is now on all of the Funimation brands as well.
If you want to watch it.
It's that one's got a bit of a different feel to it to the other Lupin ones, but it still maintains the heart of it, I think, would be the easiest way to explain it. And it is one of those franchises which for some reason just really resonated with me. And I can, if this was a weekly series, this would have been my Naruto. This would have been the series which I would never stop watching because there's so much involved in it. It's interesting. The characters are unique. You're not necessarily meant to love them, but you're meant to still cheer for them, if that makes sense.
I have a question. Do you have a Lupin cosplay?
No.
Oh, really? But it's so simple. You could totally pull it off.
I could totally pull it off. I'd have to shave my beard, though.
Don't go too crazy.
Yeah. Well, I could just do jigging.
Yeah,
Keep the beard and then, kind of twirl it up and all that.
Well, it's another simple one. You might find it in your wardrobe.
Yeah.
Wait, are you wearing a Lupin shirt right now?
I am actually wearing a Lupin
my
I was
shirt.
actually going to touch on that. I was going to be like, hey, you guys can't see it, but...
I actually completely forgot I was wearing it. I literally had to throw something on to rush out this morning to go meet a
Because in the
client.
studio, he's actually got figures of Lupin up on his computer.
Yes, I do. They're a recent
And I just looked at his
edition.
shirt, and it's a Lupin
I
shirt.
just realised because we've just moved from Studio 3 to Studio 4, which is my new house. I wonder when we're going to run out of when we're actually going to stop. Maybe when I
actually
build
get a
the
proper
house.
studio?
Yeah,
Studio 99.
but all of my other figurines are currently in boxes because I got nowhere to display them. But before I'd finished packing them up, I bought these Lupin figurines on a day out with Aaron and Kenny. And they were like, we just saw the Lupin film literally a few days beforehand.
Yep.
And I have to buy them. I can't not.
No, you have to.
And then... yeah, they're the only figurines currently in the studio that are set up.
Are you going to get a shelf and set up more figurines up there?
I was thinking of putting up some of the pictures, the framed cell arts up there.
Ooh.
Yeah, but we'll see. You'll get photos of that when and if it does happen. But yes, that's my suggestion, Lupin, because they've done it before and I think they could do it again, and now's a prime time for them to do it. But, Lady Fafa, you have one which I wasn't sure on, but now that we've talked about it, I'm totally on board.
Yes.
Because it's also hero-related.
It is.
It is. Please enlighten us.
My Hero Academia. This is how I read this question that Carl and stuff posted in the group chat. I was like, what do you want to see as a weekly show? And I was like, the only thing that jumped out to me was it has to be the morning cartoon, the morning anime that 8 o'clock in the morning, you'd be sitting there watching it I've got to
Gotta
get
go
to
to school.
and
Oh,
run.
but it's so good.
You know, either you like get your dad to go and drop you quick, Dad, let's go. You know,
Get in the car.
food stuck in your mouth, you just making time for the bell. No, for me, I was like, well, you know, those shows were like, you know,
Like Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Card
and I'm like, we
Captors.
don't really have like I know you're the big fan of like the Yu-Gi-Ohs and the Digimons and stuff like that. But I really wanted to keep away from it. And I was like, well, okay, we can't really go to Pokemon. We can't go to Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or what's the kids playing these days? Beyblades? Anyway, we're not...
Beyblades have come and gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, Beyblades has come back.
Come back again.
Yeah,
With a fury.
Yeah. Is there actually a new Beyblade series recently? Yeah.
Beyblade Flurry. You know?
Beyblade.
It's Metal something or V-Burst or something.
Basically,
Always
Beyblades,
something
yeah.
unusual.
Yeah.
Just to sell
Sell
more
merch.
merch.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, look, if you've got a cash cow.
Go with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so what shows? And there was like so many things I could think of, but so many shows that are very adult rated. And I was like, okay, no, we can't really put that in the morning slot.
No. I mean, to be honest, even My Hero
It is
would
adult
kind of
in a
be pushing it because it is M15.
Right.
But when you think about it, original Dragon Ball and original Dragon Ball
Yep,
Z were
they
also
were.
M15
And
and
Naruto as
censored
well.
for young audiences.
Yeah. And then like I was like, perfect. It's got this like the visuals that will appeal to children with the colors and stuff like that.
Yep.
Meaningful dialogue, meaningful conversations, great characters,
Good music.
yeah. And
Do you imagine hearing you say run and then going to school? You'd be so hyped for
I'd
the
be
day.
happy.
You'd be
whole day,
running,
man.
playing that in your head. Be
Yeah.
like, yes, I'm Decker.
Yeah.
Although, doesn't this loop back to the thing you were talking about before?
It does actually. But you know what? And it's that type. And then I was like, but Carl's like, why My Hero? And I was like, think about it. I could be watching this like every day of, you know, before I go to school. I don't have to go to school now, but I could be watching it before I go to school. And I could see them grow up. That's what I really want to see with My Hero.
Yeah. Now, I think, like, especially if you have a look at how many... we've got about 80 episodes.
80 at the moment, yes.
They still haven't moved up a grade.
Not even.
However, if that's a daily cartoon,
Yeah.
that over a course of a year, you get to experience the whole thing.
Exactly.
Problem is, in the manga, we're 5 years?
Behind.
I don't think it's actually changed. I think they're still 1A.
They're still 1A,
Yeah.
and we're 170 something chapters or more than that.
We've
And
got plenty of time to
you got,
go, really.
well, you got plenty of time to go. So
Actually, we're at like 300 chapters.
we are too, actually. Yeah. The key thing I thought was, like, if we were looking for something that would work is like a Naruto series, like something that happens every week. Every week there will be an episode. 52 weeks of the year, there's an episode, even during Golden Week when they're not meant to be working.
Yeah.
And that also works for that too.
Yeah, it does.
Because when you think about it, like, if My Hero Academia could have 1,000 episodes and you probably still wouldn't get bored.
Yeah,
No,
well,
you wouldn't.
the characters, the quirk concepts, you could easily flesh out 1,000 episodes by going into side characters.
I mean, like, there's already 2 spin-off series. There's My Hero Smash, which I haven't really looked into too much, and My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which is a prequel series in manga form, which I've been reading is phenomenal. And that kind of is like the origin of the Nobu and stuff like that. Like, there's that story you can look at, but in that there are characters who are based off American comic heroes.
Right.
So there's what definitely looks like the Avengers and a Captain America,
dear.
just without
Wow, could
any
you imagine
any
that?
of the branding. So he's, instead of having Captain America, he's got a tin bin lid
Yeah.
instead.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good old pin man.
And he's there to take out the trash.
Oh, yes.
and
I love
stuff like
him already.
yeah, unfortunately, they get beat up pretty quick.
I love him
Like,
even
you know,
more.
with Naruto, you had when they became adults and stuff like that. And then you
Yeah.
got Boruto, which the second
They dropped the ball on.
But Boruto's apparently gotten really good in the
It
recent
has, apparently.
season. But it means you've got to get through, like 200 episodes to get, 100 and something
Which I don't
episodes to
think I
get
could
to
do.
it. I can't do that.
Can we just skip to the good parts?
I'm waiting for the good parts.
I
to be
might
honest.
just skip to the good parts.
Yeah.
I'll
Should
let
we
you
just
know.
start doing that?
Yeah.
But
I
see,
mean-
yeah, for me, I just want to see them become older.
Yeah.
Become, doing the actual hero stuff as well.
And because that's the thing, it's such an expansive world he's built.
Yes.
Like, there's so many different things you can do, and we've only just seen the snapshot of Japan. Like,
Yeah.
we know All Might's been over in America.
I know.
We know that people have been to, I think I don't know if this is in the in Vigilantes or the main comic, but there's someone who was called like the Dundee Man. He was like an Australian superhero.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He's just mentioned in passing. I'm just like, are you what?
Well, like the opening of My Hero says, this is the story of how I became the number one hero.
Yeah.
So then what happens when he becomes the number one hero? Does it just stop there? I want it to keep going. I want to see him live his glory years.
So do I. I also want to see him get an apprentice.
Yeah.
Yes.
The person who will take over All for One. One for all. One for all. Aaron's looking at me going, have you read the most recent chapters of the comics? I haven't. I'm behind by about 3 or 4 weeks. There's a lot going on in the comics.
Yeah. No spoiler, Lord.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
And to be honest, once you see what happens in this coming season, you'll understand especially why having someone who takes over for Deku would be really interesting as well. Because it unlocks a lot of the history around the power he's been given and a lot of the history around All for One and, how that actually relates to the hero world. It's really cool.
And I want to see this as a weekly thing because I do find with My Hero it drags off. Like, there's some episodes that's just like, oh, really? But if it's like a weekly...
I really was not bothered by the school festival arc. So many people really loved it.
I thought it was charming.
Don't get me wrong. I thought it's charming and all that, but it didn't deserve 12 episodes.
No.
It could have been done in 6.
Yeah, easily.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
And especially with the manga, they covered that in about 8 chapters.
Yeah.
Which is
Agreed.
4 episodes.
Yes, but then it's leaning it more towards becoming a weekly show for everyone.
There we go. True.
that's
There we
true.
go. Yeah.
Circling back.
Yeah, circling back. It does work.
But yeah, no, definitely My Hero for
Looping
me.
back the 3rd time.
Oh my God. Double fun! Terrible. I just had to use something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is our recommendations in this parallel world where we could have these series turn into weekly series where you get a new episode every week. And then that means obviously be very useful for TV early morning cartoons as well once the translations go through. But we now need to talk about the things that's been going on in the world of anime news.
Kawaii-Fi.
Tonight on Anime Communique.
Great story, compelling and rich.
Nothing brings ratings up like a little controversy.
Well, controversy.
Are we starting controversy?
No, we're
This is
not.
where I start taking my clothes off?
No.
Okay.
This is a
actually did start
PG
taking his clothes
podcast. Right. We're going to start with something which we're all quite excited about, and Aaron, you brought this to my attention as well. The Netflix Cowboy Bebop series
Cowboy B-Boy
has finally wrapped its first season of filming, and that's a very specific choice of words they had there. First season, meaning there's more coming.
Oh, yay.
So I'm pretty excited by that.
Oh, I think we're all very excited. Space pirates is such a cool concept.
I know.
And then the already existing universe that they have to work with.
Yeah. And I mean, that's another thing. Like, I would love to say that Cowboy Bebop would work as a long form anime like Naruto, but I don't think it would. I think it'd be better as like My Hero currently is, where it's, they have a season and they deal with one villain in that season sort of thing.
Because the universe of Cowboy B-Boy, has so much in it, and like the characters have such a deep backstory that they only give an episode or 2 to each character's backstory. So if they flesh that out and give them more adventures to go on, that would be so exciting to see.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing as well is I don't want Sid Vicious's character just to be the one villain.
No.
Like, I feel like there's so many more aspects of the world they can deal with. They can look at, the crime syndicates Faye worked for, who were basically dealt with in a single episode in the original series.
Yeah.
They can look at the gambling problems and all that, the issues to do with the space casinos and stuff like that. There's a lot for them to dig into if they want to expand it.
I just beg that they don't go the Riverdale route with this show.
Oh, what did they do with Riverdale?
It just made it terrible.
Oh, lovely.
Riverdale was Archie.
Yes.
Yeah. And they tried to make it edgy, and then they did The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which was cool.
Which was cool, but they cancelled that.
Yeah, that's been canned too. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. When I first watched Riverdale, it was great, but then it just went completely bonkers with every other season, and everyone's dropped it now.
Yeah.
But this is what we have to be very careful with the anime shows becoming live actions as well.
Yeah.
Because I said before, I'd love to see them redo Attack on Titan with more Western characterizations and stuff like that. It could work with Netflix.
It could do. But I think with Cowboy Bebop, at least they've got, the original team and Sunrise involved in it. And that's, I think, the big difference.
Saving,
Yeah.
Because some of the other adaptations we've seen, not been great.
No.
But then, to be perfectly honest, Alita, the film was actually really well done,
that.
and that took all the right information.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people who don't agree with this, but I really enjoyed the live action Ghost in the Shell. To the fact that I've got it on Blu-ray now.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was horrible at all.
Well, if you watch that alongside the first film, so if you watch the original animated first film and then watch that, so much in common.
Okay.
Like it's like some shot-for-shot duplication things are done in it, and it's really good. But we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, the good news is, as we mentioned, the original team are involved, Sunrise are involved. It's going to be fun. So
Sounds exciting.
I'm quite excited for that.
I can't wait to see the ship. Like, that's my favorite part in like all the sci-fi shows, just like fleshing out the ships. Just
No, it's going to be really interesting to see how they actually do that. Like, is it going to be CG? Is it a prop?
Yeah. What about Ein? How are they going to train Ein?
Well, it's on a string like Red Dwarf.
Oh dear.
No, you are right. Ein is actually a real life dog. It's been trained. It's on set. It was the last character announced on their Twitter as that, like, you know, and introducing such and such for Ein, and they used Ein's introduction as a way to say that the series was under production, which was like that's awesome.
That's all I needed. Time to start a Jet cosplay.
Yes. I'll do Spike. I'll happily do Spike.
Dude, I've got the hair for Jet.
What do you mean the lack thereof?
Hey, look.
You shaved it all off, so...
Yes, it's a choice at this stage.
Now, something else that's been a little bit interesting. Funimation are streaming the first episode of Fruit Basket, the final season, 2 weeks before Japan. Yep. It's actually just dropped. So it's a bit unusual to start with, because then it's not going to be every week we get it. We'll catch up to Japan eventually. Of course. But it's interesting that we've been given it early.
Is this going to bruise any of the fruits? If they've been dropped? Delicious
What are we
fruits.
going to do with you, Aaron? Seriously.
Give me my own comedy special. Come on.
Netflix, you hear money?
Come on, Netflix. I'm right here.
Aaron Kenny, dad jokes.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually really anticipated, the final season, because it was never adapted.
Never, ever, ever. Like, it got canned when it was the 90s anime, which was quite sad. I like that anime.
Well, they kind of just did their own thing. They did what we've seen with most 90s animes, where they're just like, we'll just make up our own end.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah, yeah. And, My Hero, no. Full Metal Alchemist. And Hellsing and just so many other ones.
Yeah, where they're like, oops.
Yeah.
I guess we'll do this.
Yeah.
This is really exciting because none of it has ever been animated. We're finally getting to conclusion to the Fruit Basket story, which is very anticipated by everyone.
It's going to be fresh.
It's going to be tasty. It's going to be chooks we do. But it's interesting that we're getting it 2 weeks before Japan. I mean, for starters, it says that they're really on top of their release schedule.
They are.
Which is really good to see, because...
Extremely promising.
I mean, this season we've had some issues with release
schedules.
schedules.
You know what? They're still not going into the main studios. They're still all recording from home. So they've finally figured out the formula, I think, now.
Ooh.
I think there's only one company that's going to go back. I'm not going to name them. But... yeah, most of them, all the LAs and all the funnies, have still stayed at home
and done
doing it from the home
voiceover.
studios.
Wow, fair enough. Now, also worth mentioning in regards to Funimation, Wave Listen to Me. Now, we've brought this up literally 2 weeks ago, saying I'm really annoyed that Wave Listen to Me's dub has not happened. They announced it, then COVID hit, and they didn't even bother addressing it. They didn't say, oh, it's been delayed, or it will come soon, or what. They just dropped the whole thing.
Yep.
Last week, the entire season is on Funimation services. So
I guess it was ready then.
Yeah, they just...
I've noticed that actually recently, that they're just doing it all and then just dropping the whole thing. Because even
it's for
Love is
people
War.
like me.
Yeah.
Love is War Season 1.
Yeah.
They just dropped the whole
They dropped the whole thing. They did the same with...
Bang Dream as well.
Konosuba as well.
Yep.
It was batched. So, yeah. Interesting to see that. Now, my favourite topic.
Oh, yeah.
Your favourite
My
topic.
favourite. Would you believe it? Neon Genesis Evangelion 3.01 plus 1.01.
Hang on.
3.0 plus 1.0 is actually out.
It is actually
It
out,
is
yeah.
actually...
Is that 5?
No, 4. 4.
Wait, I thought there was 2
No.
1.0s,
That's
and
just...
then 3.
No, that's just the disappointing
Carry
part.
the 6?
No, what you're thinking about is the Christmas special.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, the 4th Neon Genesis Rebuild film is finally out in the wild, in the cinemas. It has destroyed the box office. It's went straight to number 1.
Demon Slayer.
It's the highest ever IMAX opening in Japan's history. That's across everything.
Wow.
It's done really good. And not only that, it's almost 3 hours, and apparently it's good.
Yes, I've heard that too. And you know what the most amazing thing is? Not one single spoiler is on the internet.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but they went and put up a public plea. Please do not spoil the film. Please do not upload it. We will attack you with our lawyers.
Oh, that's bigger than the Marvel, like, Thanos demands silence.
Because I've looked everywhere. I've looked for crumbs. I've looked for little snippets of it. You can't find anything.
No.
All I've heard from like people that have seen it in Japan, they loved it. They actually loved
Well,
it.
it's sold 750,000 tickets for its opening weekend. Specifically, it has earned about, let's have a look, $10.8 million on its opening weekend, which is colossal. It opened at number 1. It's earned $250,000 just at IMAX. That's
Why are you guys looking at me like I've got something up my sleeve? That's impressive.
I wanted to see your reaction because Kenny would be like completely gobsmacked at that.
Oh, Kenny would just be like, it's just Neon Genesis.
It's just Neon Genesis. That's normal for them.
So on its first day, it took in $7.3 million across 466 theaters. Now, keep in mind, this is just after the rest of Japan has gone out of lockdown. Tokyo's still in lockdown.
Yeah.
So Tokyo can't watch it yet. So that's... if everything's good, after this weekend, Tokyo can watch it. But Aaron wants you all to know, people in Tokyo, that he's laughing at you, apparently. No.
Suck it, Tokyo.
That explains why my friend went to travel out to go and watch the movie. I was like, why are you traveling out when you can go, there we go. That makes more sense.
Yeah, so central Tokyo is still under lockdown. Outside of Tokyo, everything's fine. And they're meant to exit lockdown on the 23rd, I believe it is, which will be next week. So that means that the second round of big people
will be
going
even
to it.
bigger.
And not only that, but they've decided that along with the film being out, not only are there tons of Evangelion merchandise, but if you would like to, there's Evangelion rations that you can buy at the cinemas. Now, they released these last year as kind of like a, hey, look at these cool ideas to promote the film coming out. Here are the rations. So it's like, pork cutlet box sort of thing and that.
Wait, so like MREs?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So emergency ration packs, they're like pre-packaged and all that, and you just put them in a microwave and they're good to go. And they've got all the Evangelion branding on it.
Amazing.
They have got drinks being sold in cafes, and of course Misato's style drink is just the beer can that she drinks. Yeah. Everyone else has, beautiful coloured drinks based on their plug suits, but Misato's just a yellow beer can.
Yes.
So it's really, really well done.
So my question is, this is it. This is the final...
Yes. Not only is it the final one, it actually has an end. It is not like the original series or this the redo films, so the end of Evangelion films. This addresses everything apparently and ends. And there's so much, being packed into this film that some of the reviewers from Japan have said a second viewing for many audiences may be required if you want to get your full experience out of it.
Oh my. So what are we expecting it to maybe hit?
Oh, we have no idea. At this point, we know the dub is still in production with the original voice team who did the original dub at ADV.
Really?
Because they were signed on and they've done the voice acting. I believe most of them have.
Wasn't it Funimation that took on the dub for these ones?
I don't know.
Yes, I think it is. So with this particular dub, it was actually taken over by Funimation. So they actually had Spike Spencer and Tiffany Grant return for their roles, and they got brand new people to do, like funny actors to do the other roles and stuff like that. Whereas the Netflix one is a completely different one.
Yeah, the Netflix one's completely different.
So they will not touch this at all. This will be the funny
they did
dub.
a lot to kind of get the original cast involved in it. And I believe the lady who did Misato is also involved as one of the voice actors. But I mean, they are getting. I mean, Spike's got to be really struggling with his voice to try and do Shinji's voice now. But
well, he lives here now, so it's like.
I mean, wait, here is in Perth?
No,
he
here
lives
is Australia.
in Gold Coast. He's actually been here nearly a whole year now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every time they announce a supernova, they're like, "Yeah, he's coming." He's probably like the one guest they can get in.
And I don't think he's leaving anytime soon because what I've heard is that he's got another child on the way that's going to be born here. So I don't think he's been really leaving
after
anytime
COVID,
soon.
I think everyone's expecting a child. There was those few months where.
Hi, Spike, if you're listening.
So just to reconfirm, this will be the final launch ever. Final launch ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I see what you did there. I'm not paying it.
$5. Every joke is $5.
Wonderful $5. But yeah, this is the last one. It apparently will completely end it. And I think it was Sora News. I read a really good article on. So they basically said, it's a Monday. The Neon Genesis film is out, and everyone else has to go to work, except for our reporter, who is actually getting paid to go watch the film they all want to see.
Okay, but I feel like that's you.
Yeah, I mean...
It's going to come out and you're going to be like, no, I'm taking the day off no matter what you say to me. The day is off.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I will be taking the day off. I will be taking the day off.
You'll be there at the first screening.
I'll be at the midnight screening.
Is there going to be a midnight
I
screening?
don't know.
Do they even do midnight
I
screenings
will
yet?
make a midnight screening.
Oh,
They do midnight screenings. They did that for Star Wars.
I will call Madman. I will call them up and say,
Your own
guys,
private screening?
I can arrange that. No,
I was actually looking into that.
It'd be quite expensive, but
It's
I could
only
arrange
about
it.
$500.
Well, that's for a private screening at one of the small cinemas, but that's not including distribution rights. It's got to be a film which is already distributed, and they've got to have confirmed the rights are free to be used for that purpose. So it's kind of varies. Okay. But renting out a cinema to play Mario Kart might be good.
My goodness, can we do that?
That's about $300.
I know.
I looked into both.
Yeah,
Or,
I've
let's
done
go
it at
even
Backlot.
better.
It was good.
An Among Us game.
Among Us on
No,
big
you guys
screen.
are forgetting the easiest one. Jackbox.
Wow. Jackbox in a cinema would be interesting.
Yeah, you can have like 20 people all in comfy seats.
I am so down for that, actually.
all with their phones dying.
Yeah, all with their phones dying. Tell them all to bring battery
Unless
packs.
you go to Lux and you have the chargers right next to your phone.
Yeah, that's true. But we have completely gone off topic.
Wow.
Haven't we?
Evangelion.
Evangelion.
There we go.
So, final film. At this point, I believe the final version of it should hit our shores dubbed at the same time, because that's what they did with the first three. The dub came out at the same time when the sub was released over here. In fact, we're talking almost 10 years since the first one. The first one didn't get a cinema release. I found it in a video store and was like, "You what? That's
yoink.
Is that just a recap?" And I looked and it was like, "That's a whole new version." What? So yeah, it's been a long time coming, and by the looks of it, they've got Alison Keith Shipp, who was the voice of Masato. She's back. Looks like they've pretty much got the entire crew lined up for it again,
Except the Ray voice.
except for Ray, because that's Brina Palencia now, isn't it?
Yes.
Who was Ray before? Amanda Winley. Oh, what happened to her?
I don't know, because she's really still into the whole Neon Genesis thing. I think at that point she gave up voice acting for some time. But now, it'd be bad because I love Brina Palencia anyway, but it would be kind of cool just for her to come back for the last film.
It would be pretty cool. Looks like they've done some interviews with her as part of VizCon this year as well.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what the go is with that. But look, we have digressed quite a fair bit off what we were originally talking about. So it should hopefully be out end of the year. Is essentially what we've been kind of suggested.
I'm going to say October. I'm going to put my bet it'll be October.
Are we placing Kawaii-Fi bets?
Yeah, I'll go.
Kawaii bets?
Kawaii bets.
I'll go November.
I'll go October.
I'm going to say January.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm going to say January for a proper dub release. Just because of the situation in the US. And I don't think they'll want to... Well, it depends how much financial trouble Studio Kara's in. If they need the money bad, then they're gonna. We will get it
straight over.
We'll
here.
get it in 4 months.
Yeah.
Straight up. Like it won't even be a
happy with my
question.
October thing.
Like, I'm gonna say September for sub, but dub won't be till next year.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. So look, that is the anime communique from this week. It's been a bit of a kind of a wonder.
Hey,
It's been an adventure.
It's been an adventure. Yes, we've talked about cinemas and we've talked about Bebop Cubus.
The Bebop Cubus.
But now we're going to talk to you about a back catalogue, a certain franchise that needs to be discussed in this back catalogue coming up.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
I think I watched that as a kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Back catalogue.
Alrighty. Well, it's time to talk about a certain franchise because we think it does deserve a bit more light, but we do have to give a bit of a parental guidance recommendation for it because while most of the series is PG that we're going to be talking about, some spin-off series are R-rated and there's some M-rated stuff in there as well. So it's just kind of probably good to keep an eye on it if you're going to let your kids watch it because there are some, shall we say, more mature themes involved in it.
Kawaii 6 going dark.
Kawaii 6 going dark.
Because it's normally Bravo 6 going dark.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so out of it today.
Yeah.
Would it be Kawaii 3 because it's just the three of us?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Go on.
Kawaii 3 going dark?
It's like Ben 10, just not as exciting.
Oh, it didn't work.
Now, we're talking about the Certain Magical Index, Certain Scientific Railgun, and Certain Scientific Accelerator series. They all start with A Certain, and they are all still ongoing as a light novel series goes. Certain Magical Index first aired in 2007 and now has 3 seasons. The third season dropped, I think, in 2019, and then we had a third season of Railgun in 2020. But between that, there was like a 6 or 7 year break.
I think
it was huge. And then we had Accelerator as well, which is very gory and very violent. Only 12 episodes.
When did that one come? Was that 2018?
2019.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it aired just after Railgun finished.
Ah.
Yeah. Now, if you haven't heard of this franchise, the Certain Magical Index is the core story, and then a Certain Scientific Railgun and a Certain Scientific Accelerator are spin-offs off that series.
It's the Marvel universe of anime.
It basically is, yeah. Now, a Certain Magical Index is a story set in a place called Academy City. It's the most unusual city in the world. It's in Japan. It is about 20 years ahead of technology everyone else. And it's a school, basically. It's a giant city made of schools full of espers to try and train espers and learn about this unique ability that has suddenly popped up. Aaron's like...
My Hero Academia?
Yep. Before My Hero. Now, the Magical Index is a kind of a weird... It's a bit strange considering that the city is all about espers and Magic Index is actually about magic.
Yes.
So there's espers and magicians. Now, the main guy in Magic Index appears to have no ability, no esper ability at all. He does. Just no one actually realizes what it is. His ability is to nullify all other abilities.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So obviously they can't measure that.
Does that in turn nullify his own ability?
No. So it's like if he touches something which is magical or like that.
No, like himself. Just like
himself. Say someone throws, say someone's a pyromancer, so they can control fire and throws a wave of fire at him. He can put his hand out and neutralize that immediately.
Oh, okay.
So
should we touch on what an esper is?
Yes. So an esper is, I guess, a advanced human being. So their abilities come in different forms. There's some who can control water or electricity or fire, elemental controllers. There are others who are a bit more strange, like Accelerator. The reason he's able to accelerate things is because his brain's really smart and he can basically control vectors.
You ever be so smart that you control things?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know how like the back in the day used to have the bendy spoons and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like that
it's that sort of thing, yeah.
Oh, a singer.
Yeah. Sure, why not? We're never saying that on the show again.
So yeah, like magical is like real, like magical, like that type of thing. Whereas the espers is more like this is the gift that they've been given, and that's their
they've kind of been born with that ability, yeah. So the espers are interesting because they're graded from like level 1 to level 5. Level 5 being what they believe is the most powerful. But
like kaiju.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Except that the city is not as it seems, and there's definitely shadow organizations and research companies in it trying to muck around with people's abilities to their own benefit. There's one group in particular trying to create a level 6, which they don't have a benchmark for and would technically be, I guess, almost god tier.
Yeah.
You've got the church, which is the magical side of it. The church is involved in witchcraft and wizardry and all that. And the churches are actually fighting each other for control of the city in the background. And then you have Index, who is the most annoying character, but thankfully you see less of her in the second season onwards. Now, Index is a girl from the church. She's literally been turned into a magical grimoire to store all of the
data, information.
Well, essentially all the illegal spells, all the forbidden books are stored inside her mentally. So she can control all of that if she was aware of it. And the whole story for Index, before you go on to the others, is about her being chased by witches and wizards from the church, if you will, which is really well done. It's just a shame she's so annoying.
There's always a cincher.
Yeah. Now, the weird thing is that a Certain Magic Index Season 1 came out first, and then 2 years later, Railgun came out, and then Index Part 2 came out, and then Railgun Part 2 came out. Except if you're going to watch it in chronological order, you have to start with Railgun.
Yeah.
Because all the events in Railgun Season 1 happened before the events of Index Season 1.
Okay, so it's like a Fate sort of thing where like you got Fate, then you got Fate Zero, and
this
then
is
you got
Fate
Stay
basic.
Night, and
There's only 3 timelines to deal with in this one, thankfully.
Baby play.
I know, right? But yeah, so basically, if you are going to jump in this series, start with a certain scientific railgun. It's definitely the better of the 3 series.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot more engaging. It's entertaining. There is some concerning thoughts by one of the characters known as Shirai, who's a teleporter, because she really, really likes the main girl, Misaka, who's known as the railgun.
Is this one of the R-rated ones?
No.
Okay.
This is the one that's TV PG.
Oh, okay. So this is the safe one for you kiddies to watch.
But not.
Yeah.
Still parental guidance recommended. It's a really good series. The music's absolutely banging, as you might have heard from our previous little sting. Oh, no, that's coming up later. The next ident is a railgun ident. It's by Fripside, which are a electro rock band mixed with dance, punk, R&B, just so much.
Singer is a Love Live Sayu.
Is she?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. From the original Love Live series?
Yes, from the original Love Live series.
Go figure. But yeah, so you've got Index, which is all about the church and all that, and they leave the city and come back and all that. But Railgun is set purely in the city, and it focuses on Misaka, who is the level 5, one of the top 5 level 5s in the city, and she's an electromancer, so she controls electricity and static and so on, and can converge that into a railgun by firing a coin out of her hand.
Now, you know when you come across female characters and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, they always like had a side character type of thing. Misaka is probably the best female character to come out in recent years. She is so brilliantly developed. She is so lovable. She's so powerful. She is that first, I've seen lots of characters, but she really, from the get-go, grabbed me.
And she also is one of those characters who has to deal with a lot of heavy stuff. And her character's meant to be 13, 14, and
I think she ages because of obviously
she does age throughout the series, but she's meant to be 13, 14.
I think 14-ish.
Yeah. It's in that bracket, but I know she's younger than Tora from Magic Index. He's a year older than her. And the stuff that these kids go through, it's like Promised Neverland sort of stuff.
Oof.
It's full on. It's like people who are trying to co-opt their identities and use them for things. People who are trying to, I don't know, copy their powers and put it into a machine to see if they can do it.
Yeah.
And there's
is that why it's called a certain scientist?
Yes.
Well, yes.
Because it's the more science side of the coin as opposed to the magic side. And the cast of characters in Railgun is really good. The only issue I have is with the dub. The dub is really good, except for the translation of Shirai calling Misaka Sissy.
But she does it in the Japanese one as well.
No, she calls her Oni-chan.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Translation-wise, they could have done something else. Because typically when you translate Oni-chan, it translates as either big brother, big sister, or their name.
Yeah.
I feel like they were trying to experiment and try to go for something more casual because you never call your brother or sister by brother or sister.
You'd never call your sister Sissy, though.
I know some people that do.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, same.
Oh,
That's like a nickname that a lot of people do give their siblings and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I didn't have a sister.
Probably.
I
don't have a sister, but
I've never heard of that.
You want to
I don't
borrow
have a
one?
sister.
I'll give you guys a sister to borrow.
But that I'd have heard friends that would call their sister Sissy and stuff like that.
Okay, well, that's a bit weird because, here's the other thing. They're not brother and they're not sisters. That's the other thing as well. It could have been comfortably.
Are they soul sisters?
Shirai is in love with her, and Misaka is not that way inclined.
No.
Oh, okay.
She has another love interest, but we won't go into that.
No, we won't go into that. That's more explored in season 3.
Yes.
Well, it's actually explored in all of it.
It's
but
very high,
it's
the novels and stuff like that
very
as well.
long burn to get to that. But all 3 of these series, I'm pretty sure you can find on Anime Lab last check.
Anime Lab has, I think they've got season 3 of Railgun, but season 1 and season 2 is on Netflix.
That's right.
They've got all of Magical, I think, on Anime Lab, and I think the movie is on both. I know the movie's on Netflix, and
the movie's definitely on Anime Lab,
and the movie's on Anime Lab as well.
On Anime Lab,
and I'm pretty sure the whole series is on Netflix and Anime Lab as well.
You know what? I'm just going to go to because.moe and double check.
And I know Accelerator is definitely on Anime Lab. It's not on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, because they had the rights for the dub for that.
Yeah.
So, a certain scientific railgun is actually in America on Crunchyroll and Funimation, everything connected with it.
Yep.
For our listeners in the UK, a certain scientific railgun is on both as well, Crunchyroll and Funimation. And here in Australia, it is on Crunchyroll, Netflix, and Funimation.
Yeah.
And all of them have varying different amounts for some reason. So, go figure.
Go nuts.
I blame Netflix Australia. So, yeah. But look, it's definitely a series worth checking out. It's a little bit different from what you're probably expecting. It's definitely got mature themes despite the age of the characters involved, but it's story-wise, it's quite compelling.
Yeah.
And I'd highly recommend starting with Railgun, watch season 1 of that, then watch Index.
I mean,
because then you know what you've got to look forward to as well, because season 2 follows on straight away, and it means you kind of don't have to worry about...
Yeah, and it's one of those shows you have to do it that way, I think. I mean, if you obviously started with Magical, then I understand, but like for us who've just started...
Like if you're just coming into it now, start with Railgun.
Yeah.
It is by far the superior product.
I don't know if you'd get disappointed though. Maybe you start with the lower product and then move your way
No,
through.
because if you start with the lower product, well, you won't get to the superior.
True,
If you start with Index, you will have to really slug through it and then actually want to keep watching.
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
Whereas with Railgun, the story is set before.
Yeah.
So you might as well watch it first.
But I definitely think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll binge it.
I think Aaron might. I think you could be interested in it.
I think I might have to give it a watch this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
So we'll see how that all goes.
I actually might want to watch it again myself, to be honest.
I haven't watched season 3 of each yet.
Yeah. I watched season 3 because it was a weekly thing with...
Yeah, because it was coming out live, yeah. But I just didn't have time during that season. Righty. It's time to finish up.
Yeah.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Well, that is, as I said, where we're going to leave it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening, watching, tuning in, and being part of the Kawaii-Fi family.
If you have an idea for a show that should become like a weekly thing, chuck in our YouTube comments or let us know.
Or jump on our Facebooks as well, socials, because we're checking them pretty regularly as well.
We do.
Oh, yeah, we're all about that.
We're all about that. We're all about the communication.
We're all about that.
Now, we are heading into a new anime season. And it is the spring anime season. There's a lot coming, but there's also not a lot coming.
Interesting.
This season we've just had has been incredibly strong. There is a lot of content this season.
Yes.
Next season, while there is some really strong contenders, it doesn't feel as busy.
Okay.
Now, we will see what happens because over the next couple of weeks, all those YouTube trailers are going to drop.
Oh, exciting.
And we will be sharing them across social media for those of you who want to watch. We shared one a couple of days ago, actually, about a wonderful story about Russian vampires in space.
Yeah.
Los
So that looks gorgeous. That's not this season, it's the season after. But we'll be putting all of the upcoming trailers that we reckon you should see on our social medias as well. And next episode, we'll be doing our deep dive into the spring anime season. A little bit more controlled than we've done in the past, a little bit more focused on just the shows that we think are definitely worth checking out, especially some that are going to be outliers that you might not have heard of.
Yeah.
Now, if you are new and you've gotten this far, please give us a like and a subscribe. We'd love to have you on board for our upcoming episodes. We're going to be very busy this weekend running around at the Japan Festival here in Perth.
If you see us, take a photo with us.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably too late because this is going out afterwards.
Well, I'm saying you've seen us.
If you have seen us,
upload it, send it to us.
Send it to us. Put it on our socials. We'd love to have it. But that is where we're going to leave it because otherwise we will talk for days and days and days. And it's getting a little late in the day here. It is. We need to go.
We have a tendency to evangelion and on and on and on. Sorry, I didn't want to wrap up the show.
So, as always, thank you so much for listening. And, as usual,
watch some anime!